Well,
All right,
my
I'll
rule
tag
is
you on
separate across the world. All hotels provide me with a laptop
with a
and a
lap. You
printer.
don't carry one with you?
Never in my life. I don't own an iPad. I don't own a laptop. I'm a simple man.
Okay. Suhel, I've
Okay,
tagged you
let's
also.
start.
Suhel, I've tagged you. Please retweet because you have the maximum number of followers out of all of us on Twitter.
Yeah, and it's very nasty to us also. People tell me he's very mean to me.
Okay, let's start. And quite a sobering day today with the attack on Bondi Beach in Sydney. So I just want to start by offering our collective condolences on this tragic event. And I mean, this happens too often, so no words seem adequate enough. And if you do say too many words, it seems like you're repeating yourself, or we've heard them before. So just hope that Australia takes this seriously and doesn't have the kind of attitude that it has had towards the increase in anti-Semitism in their country. It's exceedingly tragic. Even a child is in hospital as we speak. So that's what I have to say. Sohail, do you want to add anything?
You know, I'm of the opinion, and it's a bit of a bizarre opinion, the more you bring religion into public life and into public spaces, you're going to have these issues. The world is consumed by identity politics, by the politics of religion. Earlier religion was a very private matter. Today, now someone has said those shooters said Allahu Akbar after they, shot people. Now, again, you're going to have this whole discussion about Islam, blah, blah, blah. Right or wrong, because you're allowing religion to come up front in everything you do, whether it's electoral politics, whether it is calibrating global lines of diplomacy. This is what's happening. And I feel sad because, see, in all of this, it's the innocent who die, who have no business to be killed in this manner. The people who shout slogans, whether it is Islamic slogans, non Islamic slogans, they don't really care. They bring shame to that religion. So, it's a shit show all over the place.
And there's a sort of inevitability to it now, like all our lives are touched by it. Just last month we had the Red Fort attack, wherein basically people were stopping at a red light and a bomb went off. What do you say? It could have been anybody, anywhere. And the fact
Which is
is
why
that,
I'm saying
yeah,
life is fragile, darling. Life is fragile in today's world because today's world has been consumed by rage. Today's world is consumed by identity politics. Look at what's happening in the United States. Look at what's happening in Paris, in Germany. These countries are getting ripped apart. And I will say this, much to everyone's consternation, this whole thing about left liberals and saying, oh, everyone should be allowed in, sabko saath leke chalo, all bullshit. You have to have tighter immigration controls. You have to have tighter conditions for people entering nations that they don't originally belong to. Because there is a cultural mismatch, and B, there is a sense of false entitlement, which then plays out in this dastardly way that we've seen on Bondi Beach.
so I mean, do you think this is like multiculturalism failing? Because if you remember the 90s and when the wall came down and the Cold War ended, there was this feeling of real optimism that the world is one big place now. And 30 years later, we're at this place where we're like, close the borders, don't let other people in, people don't assimilate. That's why you have these issues.
So there are two people I want to quote. One is a Japanese gentleman called Kenichi Ome, who is a McKinsey managing partner in Japan and wrote a seminal book called A Borderless World. In that borderless world, he talks about identity being replaced by the economy. He talks about trade replacing, you know, uh, peculiar or sectarian issues.
Mhm.
But then you also have Naipaul, who on the Babri tragedy, on the Babri demolition wrote, and Naipaul has gone on record to say that Babur was amongst the cruelest of the Mughals, and he and his form of subjugation was the most evil of all forms. And they had no sensitivity towards the Hindu population, which he controlled. And they put up this mosque in the place of the temple, disregarding the faith, the belief of millions of Hindus. And what Naipaul's surmise is that Hinduism and Hindus today in India are taking back their civilizational legacy. So it is not muscular Hinduism, it is just a return to what they always had, but were denied by successive conquerors. So there are two opinions. I have a very simple, logical opinion on all these matters. I believe religion is a private matter and should remain so. Where religion intersects with culture, that's fine. For instance, you can't deprive our museums of our brilliant civilizational legacy, where you can't deprive us of the heritage of Nalanda. You can't decry what the contributions were made, whether you agree with the misogyny or not of Manu in Manu Smriti. But what is happening is that we are replacing religion uh, with a very, very didactic, very aggressive purpose. That is what is the problem. The problem is not the discussion of religion. You remember what George W. Bush said after 9/11? He said, either you're with us or against us. The middle path, Advaita, has vanished from the world.
Yeah.
The median is missing. And when the median is missing, you will always have polarity. See, I'm not a great believer in all this bullshit about, oh, we have become intolerant, oh, we have become this, we have become that. No, people must be allowed to seize their legacy or what they believe is their civilization without
Absolutely.
harming or without indulging in violence. Which is why, whenever I've been asked about Ayodhya or what should we say, Babri Masjid, my response has been that this matter, for better or worse, was settled by the courts of law. So due process was followed. But then Amartya Sen writes, he says there's a difference between Niti and Nyay in his seminal book called An Idea of Justice, The Idea of Justice. And there he says the problem is that Niti is process, but Nyay is justice. And ultimately, justice is about fairness. So those are the issues. Now, I want to make one last point before we go to Ajay and Pallavi. When Said Shahabuddin was a leader of sorts of the Muslims in India, the problem was that he was pretty extreme at times, pretty irrelevant at times. Post Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who then fled or started a new country, there has been no respected pan national Muslim leader. The leadership that Muslims provide is either leadership which emerges from the religious cauldron or it's from a political cauldron. So they too are rudderless. The point I'm making is that at least in amongst the Hindus, there are various safeguards, whatever those safeguards may be, whether you agree or disagree with them. In Islam, especially in India, there are no safeguards. People can say what they want. I mean, you saw how people have gone after Javed Saab, after Javed Akhtar, how people went after Taslima Nasreen. So, point I'm making is that unless you have refined, defined, calm leadership, which may have its anchors in religion or faith, but can certainly not be divisive in nature, then you're fine. But as long as the divisiveness occurs and people then take polarized positions in order to incite people, then there's a
Yeah.
problem.
I mean,
See,
you've been
Advaniji
traveling.
said famously, he says, every Muslim is not a terrorist. But sadly, every terrorist is a Muslim. Now, that is
Hmm.
his perspective. Now, Chidambaram, in an irresponsible manner, talked about Hindu jihad. So we've had irresponsible political discourse that we also need to move away from.
Hmm.
I mean, look at what
Hmm.
Mamta is doing in Calcutta, in Bengal. So, this level of appeasement, and people might say that that's what the BJP is also doing. But the BJP is doing it, and they're saying we are doing it because there was a huge neglect of India's majoritarianism. And see, there is an article many, many, many years ago. I was reading Swami Lokeswarananda, who used to head the Ramakrishna mission in Calcutta. He
Hmm.
says it is not the business of the majority to look after the minority. It is the business of the minority to intermingle and be calm in its coexistence with the majority, whichever the majority may be. For instance, in the Northeast, Christians will be the majority, they won't be the minority. In Kerala, it's different. So I think we need to have an analysis of this kind. And finally, there is no one actually talking about these things. These things again are under the umbrella of polarization. So
Hmm.
suppose I make an argument like this, you'll have some idiots on your chat who will say, oh, Javed Akhtar promoted denigration of Hindu. So there's no dearth of
Hmm.
idiots in our country
Hmm.
because they refuse to understand a perspective that they may not agree with.
Hmm.
See, Narayan Murthy famously said, you can disagree without being disagreeable. The
Yeah.
problem is we have become disagreeable rather
I
than
want to
just
bring in
disagreeing.
the others also. Yeah. Ajay, we were just discussing the Bondi attack. Where we are discussing other things on the show, but thought we'd start off with that. And the question I posed to Suhel was, post the Cold War period, 1990s, there was great optimism when the world became one, etc., etc. But what we've seen is multiculturalism really failing, right? I mean, people are just not able to live together and having such violent consequences. So, we had the Red Fort terror attack last month, and terror has now become a way of life almost for people. Australians are actually, apart from, really panicked about what's happened, they're also shocked because you don't hear of these things like this urban warfare kind of terror in Australia as much as, maybe we've seen it in France, England, the US, and the Western world in general, Belgium, but not in Australia like this. So, this is a turning point in many ways.
Undoubtedly. I mean, if you look over the past 7 to 8 decades, the entire world geography and the politics around it has assumed a different proportion. There was a sense of coming together post the Second World War, where it felt that the world could come together, help each other out, and adopt multi ethnicity. But post 90s, the multi ethnicity has given way to ethnic identity. I mean, the entire Balkan crisis, the Bosnia Herzegovina conflict that emerged out of this bedrock of ethnic cultural identity. Obviously, the shadows of the same are now witnessed within India as well. And as Suhail was very illustratively putting it across, we are also in throes of all kinds of changes. Recently, I happened to attend a lot of meetings and get-togethers where I ended up speaking a lot with various friends who are from minority community. And something which I really observed and I'm not very proud to share, but is a fact, is that the hardening of perceptions and views of people who are considered to be highly educated, social, affable, open minded, and liberal within the minority community is now at its brink. There's hardly any. It is a very surprising thing, the hardening stance. Even if within, say, a group of 8 or 7 people, there are two who are your schoolmates, who happen to be, there in the get together, they feel insecure today, which never happened earlier. Now, why is this changing? Is it only because there is a BJP led government in the center for the past 11 years? There has been a BJP led government earlier also, while Vajpayee ji was the prime minister. Definitively, the international ramifications are today also impacting India, and the world view is now impacting Indian parochialism, and appeasement politics is now become very open and dominant, as exemplified in West Bengal. I mean, look at what is happening. It seems like a state is on riot completely. Law and order seems to have broken virtually everywhere, and you pick out one in every. It is surprising that you will find that in West Bengal, almost 70 to 85% of criminal activities are being carried out by people belonging to a minority community. And
But
it's happening.
look, sorry, but here's the reality. You
Yes.
had two Muslims who fired in Australia on Bondi Beach, but the person who saved a lot more from dying was also a Muslim,
Yes.
Ahmed El Ahmed. He was the fruit seller who caught that. So you can't castigate and cast aspersion on an entire community because of what you believe is right or wrong.
So I agree. I agree. But see, this is where there is a problem. And
Yeah.
there has to be a thought process within the community. In India, it is a minority community, but in various countries, it's the majority. In India, also, there are many states. I mean, look at Jammu and Kashmir. Muslims are in majority in Jammu and Kashmir. Muslims and Christians form a kind of a closer to a majority situation in Kerala. Many northeastern states, Christians are the majority. Obviously, the people who are in minority will have to take the mass sentiment together. Why is it that I carry a chip on my shoulder and saying, I belong to a minority community and I have the patronage of the state and therefore I am at liberty to do anything at will? Can you do that? And very rightly put across by Suhel. Why has the entire community failed to put up a single person of eminence who can stand up and look inwards within the community and also communicate with the larger community or at a national perspective? Name one parliamentarian. Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi makes fantastic speeches in the parliament, but that's about it. His influence is virtually limited to Hyderabad, and whatever victories he has achieved has not been because of his Islamic orientation or because he is a leader of the community, but it's because of political gimmickry and reality of mass voting patterns.
Pallavi,
So
I
yes,
can, yeah.
No, but I think but Ajay, I think obviously ticks two boxes, right? He actually comes across as a flag bearer of his community, which is a minority community, and why he's able to do beyond Hyderabad in pockets, 4, 5, he's contesting there in Bihar also. And the second thing is, on the ground in Hyderabad, everyone appreciates the fact that वो घर घर जाके काम करता है. And he's very open about it. I mean, I think he's very brazen about the fact that I'm a Muslim and I give a pitch only for my community. So I mean, maybe that's also one of the reasons why he's winning consistently.
agreed. See, but that's political dynamics. Is he
तो
considered
वो
as a
उसका politics है
pan-Muslim
ना.
acceptable face? Look at do Muslims in Shaheen Bagh or in Old Delhi consider Owaisi as a representative? Do Muslims
They
in
don't.
Kolkata consider
No,
Owaisi as a
in
representative?
Bengal, some areas, Bihar, some
Well,
areas. I mean, it does not mean that he's winning, but I mean, in Bengal, he won 5, right? And in Bihar, he won 5. So he may not win a lot, but if there are 5 seats being won by him, somewhere he is resonating on the ground. I think so.
well, I mean, that way, if you look at the Nishad vote, then that also becomes a kind of a vote bank. You have
Yeah.
miracles happening. I mean, see, winning seats per se will not. I mean, once we had Kanshiram, a leader who
Hmm.
actually wanted to represent and get the entire Dalit community together. Initially, he wouldn't win seats, and then with a windfall, Mayawati is still the most maybe the relegated Dalit face. There is no virtual Dalit face or a universally accepted Dalit face
Yeah.
today. It's a similar situation with.
Everyone wants to be a Dalit now. I mean, everyone wants to pitch themselves. I mean, Rahul Gandhi, for example, certainly pitches himself as being the champion of the Dalits. But you're right. I mean, the resonance which Mayawati had, even that Chandrasekhar Azad could not have.
So, I mean, the basic point that I was trying to put across is that it is very difficult for a nation to come together if the communities do not talk, and the communities will have to talk, and people will have to accommodate each other. But it
I have a
cannot be.
question.
Yes,
I have
please.
a question, but is it a political initiative that is needed? Because politics always ends up being divisive. And I actually think it's a good thing that there isn't this sort of, overt identity in that sense, because then that leads to the kind of balkanization we've seen in the past and all of those other things. Isn't it better if there is community leadership, and community leadership which is not necessarily political or religious for that matter? Because what you have with in the Muslim community is that their community leadership is usually religious in nature. It's not someone who is from society or from that kind of background, and religious leadership has its constraints. They are operating within certain defined parameters. So maybe
Hmm.
community leadership is really what we need to think about.
Possibly community leadership, but look at the entire terror cell which came across with the Red Fort bomb blast. Imagine one of the most educated sections of the minority
Yeah.
community being in touch with ISIS and various factions of Pakistani ISI.
And a university. Imagine
Yes.
doctors and all.
See, let me weigh in on this for a minute.
मिनट तो नहीं होगा
I
पर
have never understood the rage that exists in some Indian Muslims because there is no reason for it to exist. There has been more than adequate appeasement. They have all the rights that every other community has under the law. Uh, there are employment opportunities galore. There are reservations in some of their areas. You know what the racket that the Waqf board and all were running. So I fail to understand their issues with India unless it is their alignment with certain enemy countries who are then stoking the fires in order to destabilize India as a nation. See, the Red Fort attack is not an attack by Muslims on Hindus or by Muslims on other Muslims. It is an attack on the sovereignty of India, taking both the symbolism and the dastardliness of the attack. That is what we need to figure out. Because there is obviously a certain amount of play which you and I don't know about. And if this is the case, then my worry is the retaliation will be even greater than these people can imagine. Then the retaliation will be against the community and against the religion. It won't only be against a certain sect, but it'll be very difficult to distinguish which that section of people is.
I think part of it is also like, the introspection. There is more organized protest from the community when it comes to something like Islamophobia than when it comes to these kind of terror attacks, where very often, and if not all, 9 out of 10 times, it is somebody from the same religion who is responsible for it. And you don't see that ferocity in a response like you see when discussing Gaza or Islamophobia or things of that nature.
Advaita, I mean, if I were to just extend what Suhel just mentioned, see, 1992, Babri Masjid demolition. If you look at the riots that followed thereafter, possibly the generation then could have talked about the suffering. But for people who were born by about, say, 1998, 2000, they have only heard of some stories. And those stories are always magnified, much more, much larger than what really transpired. The amount of hatred, distrust, and angst that you find among the youth especially within certain pockets in Uttar Pradesh, Bengal, Bihar, Maharashtra. It is unsurmountable. These people did not witness anything. They had zero clue as to what really transpired. They don't even identify themselves with Babri Masjid, nor do they understand the purpose of the masjid or the fact that it was absolutely defunct. It was never used for worship over the past 60 years. But why should you carry the burden of a demolition of a mosque and then avenge your community against the country within which you live and survive? This is a question. See, if today there is protest against Gaza, there is atrocity that is happening. Let's face it, that's a fact. So you can talk about it, you can feel about it. But there is something which happened in 1992. Mumbai bomb blasts were thereafter organized by the underworld under patronage of ISI and Pakistan. Should the Hindus then go in rampage against what happened thereafter, the Suhel blast that was first of a kind in India?
Also, very quickly, and then we'll move on from this topic, is, this culture of grievance. There is a culture of grievance and an explanation for that grievance and thereby violence all around the world. Like here, you can say, okay, this Babri Masjid issue. In Europe, you'll say racism. But, there's always a reason, but the action is always this kind of terror, which is what actually feeds the grievance even more, because then people become more cautious. It's a vicious cycle, really, and one doesn't know how to get out of it. But there seems to be a tendency or a trend wherein in every culture there is a grievance of some sort. It could be
Which is
race, it could be color, it could be being in a minority, whatever it may be.
Tell me something. How many countries are Hindus in majority except India and possibly Nepal? Do you ever hear of Hindu prosecution or Hindu angst?
Persecution. Yeah.
Persecution, sorry, Hindu persecution or Hindu angst against how they are being treated by the majority community? Do they
No.
take to violence? Do they become terrorists? It cannot always be that a community always believes that they are persecuted, that they are the people at the short end, while it's virtually the second largest religion in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, a basic question that I asked a couple of people in Bengal who were trying to defend the migration of Muslims from Bangladesh is that why don't Muslims ever migrate to Muslim countries? Have you ever heard of any Muslim migrating to a Muslim country? Do they migrate to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, South African
So
Muslim
they have
countries?
also, these countries have very strict citizenship laws. It's not like you can naturalize and become a citizen in the UAE, for example. You can spend your entire working life there, own property, but you won't become an Emirati.
But there you don't even get a humanitarian assistance. You don't even get camps that you can live in. See, why is it that it is always a liberal country that is chosen? It is either India, Europe, or a US, which is looked upon as a sanctuary for prospect and growth. Why doesn't anybody from Bangladesh migrate to, say, a Malaysia? It's an Islamic country, it's a developing country, it's good. It doesn't have as strict laws of immigration, or even illegal immigration could be possible there. There are so many plenty of islands around there. Have you heard of it? So it is where it is convenient, how it is just run over. And obviously there is political patronage, which further, the vote bank politics, which has been the hallmark since century, I mean, the decades for us, that has led to what we are suffering today. And we'll hear much more of it with Bengal elections coming on the head. Already
Yeah.
58 lakh people would be taken off the voters list. And that's the first list, by the way.
Okay, so we have over 900 people live with us. Please go ahead and do like, share this stream as we're live. If anyone else, if you think your friends may be interested in joining us. And moving on from this very sad topic, I'm sure we'll discuss it again. And on to the next, which is, you mentioned Kolkata, Ajay. I want to go to Pallavi as our resident Bengalan. Pallavi, Messi was a real mess, wasn't it? And Shah Rukh Khan, your favorite, had to stand in line for so long to meet him.
Imagine, just imagine they did this to Shah Rukh Khan. No, they're not good. But you know, the point is that I mean, Suhel did write about that, and I totally agree with him. That for a change, the Telangana government, look at the way they're so well organized. They have been planning this because I know Revant Reddy had come to Parliament and he was very animated. He was telling us that how he's taking football lessons because he wants to play football with Messi. But you know, he was very conscious of what happened in Bengaluru and he didn't want a repeat of that because the people go wild. But you know, Bengalis are crazy about football. And this is something which I'm sorry the state government should have factored in. I know there are more and more details coming out. A TMC MLA getting the chance to take a picture, then another leader is getting a chance for his wife. How do you do that? And suppose something would have gone wrong, suppose Messi would have been hurt, for example. It's not about only Shah Rukh Khan, frankly speaking, not getting to click a picture. The point is that this was supposed to be your big imaging ahead of Bengal elections. They had this huge statue which they wanted to inaugurate. Mamata Banerjee wanted to make a big deal about it. I think this is going to be used by the BJP to add on to this whole narrative that basically it's absolutely poor governance. Law and order is collapsing. She's not in charge. She's not under the grip. All these kind of stuff. This is going to start adding on for the BJP against her.
I think part of him coming in was because of the elections coming up, and it's completely backfired. It's really gone the other extreme.
I mean, he looks really visibly harassed.
Oh yeah. Suhel, what do you make of this? I mean, this was a golden opportunity for the West Bengal government, Mamta, heading into an election, football crazy state, to
First,
actually put on a great show.
First, let me tell you, I'm from that state. It'll have no impact on the elections.
No, it won't have an impact on the election. The BJP.
One minute, Pallavi, did I interrupt you? Keep quiet. It'll have no impact on the elections.
Welcome to Republic. Go ahead.
I think what is happening is Mamata Banerjee has lost the plot. I feel sad.
I was saying the same thing.
But I will also say this: those idiots who bought tickets for 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 rupees, what did they expect? That Messi would come and play football with them? It was always told to these people that there is no match, there is no exhibition match. He will come, wave, and get the hell out, which is what he did, except he left much earlier. Look, these things everyone knows about. So it's not a surprise to Mamata Banerjee that the Calcutta crowd can be really unruly. Once when India lost the match, they burned the stadium, Eden Gardens. Have you all forgotten that?
Yeah.
We're not that old.
So violence is in their blood when it comes to sport deprivation. As I've always said about Bengal, Chakor, Pukur, Kukur, ebong football. I mean, look at her, Pallavi Ghosh. She's the ideal example. Chakor, Pukur, Kukur, ebong football.
Which one of the four am I? Please make that
No,
clear.
I didn't say you're one of them. I said Bengalis adore these four. They
Look at I just want to intervene here.
দাদা আমাদের একটা পন্ড আছে আর পন্ডের পাশে একটা কুকুর আছে কুকুরের পাশে একটা চাকর ওর খেয়াল রাখবে আর আমরা ফুটবল প্লে করব ফুটবল each bugger in Calcutta thinks he's Messi's father.
I just want to tell everybody that the man laughing in the corner of your screen so heartily is married to a Bengali woman and obviously doesn't have a chance to say these things at home. So,
I mean, what?
This is why he's camping.
This
It
is
is
the
bizarre.
inside story.
I mean, this stupidity was for all to see. And it is now, look at what they do. They arrest the organizer. The low-hanging fruit. I mean, how stupid can you be? You arrest the organizer. You know that there's going to be chaos. You have unruly members of the legislature there, the MLAs or whoever the hell they are. Everyone wants a selfie. There you are. That's the problem.
I mean,
Yes.
I mean, be it Bangalore, be it Kolkata, fact of the matter is that the states have to wake up and take up responsibilities for the acts that they do. I mean, was this entire show not organized with the permission and due planning by the state government and the police? Obviously, things were done. I mean, there are some tweets which said that the personal suited, booted bodyguards did not allow even the police men to come closer to Messi. Imagine the level of bullshittery which is going about. Definitely. It's a sad commentary on Mamata Banerjee's administrative and her government's administrative failure. It's also very illustrative of the fact that, which is very prevalent in other places also. It's not that in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, in the stadiums, you don't see that. The push and pull and the weight matters. So did it in West Bengal. It's just that it was absolutely chaotic because in West Bengal, everything and the entire government is only tuned towards the elections in 2026. Everything else can take a backseat. Nobody is bothered. And that's what they are focusing on. The entire TMC structure is now only and only geared towards the election, and that's about it.
Right.
As you rightly said, this incident has no bearing on the elections.
Okay. Pallavi, we saw your favorite Rahul Gandhi with Messi. He had a pretty cool meet and greet. No rush, no pushing, shoving. He still got it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that is because the Telangana government organized it. Na? But did you see how he is being trolled because he was trying dribbling and they didn't kind of quite work out the way they thought it would be? So, yeah, but as I said, I mean, Revanth Reddy's been practicing football. That's what he told us. And for him, getting Messi is a big, big achievement. I don't think it's going to get them any more investments. But yeah, I mean, we had those pictures of Rahul Gandhi backstage, then interacting
And to be
with
fair,
him.
Rahul Gandhi behaved himself impeccably. You know,
Yeah, I agree.
I think this is the kind of demonstrable calmness we should see in our leadership. Unlike Mamta, who was on her way to the stadium, turned around. I mean, it's insane. On that
I
note,
you
God bless
thank
you, and may God continue to bless Bengal. It needs it like magic.
Okay,
And
bye,
bye bye,
Suhel.
Pallavi. Bye, Ajay. Lovely talking to you.
It's
Thank
Bye.
you.
pleasure.
Suhail, a little birdie tells me that you're planning to contest elections from Bengal.
Never in my life.
Imagine,
No,
I can't
my contesting
imagine Suhail
elections
as
is
a
akin
MLA.
to the day I contest elections will be akin to you embracing journalism. Thank you.
How mean, yeah. How mean is Suhail?
Someone is really laughing a lot today, huh?
Yeah, I can see that, Ajay.
It's-
I think
it's-
I can
Too
See,
see
you
much
are
that.
fun is
responsible
going
for it.
on.
You don't call me for your shows. So I'm deprived
We
of some
haven't
good
had any.
conversation.
We've had maybe one. But
Now, Ajay,
listen,
you're talking.
but you know, I have to say this. I did appreciate Rahul Gandhi during the Parliament Remembrance Day when all the leaders were standing on one side
Yes,
and he crossed over to meet with the families of the victims. I thought
families.
that was a very
And
good
also
gesture.
Priyanka Vadra. Priyanka spent much more time, and I kind of like that picture where these two ladies, they're two widows who patted Priyanka, that women bonding, and then Priyanka goes across and speaks to the child. I think that was really nice. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was thoughtful, and it was so. It's not like we
And
don't observe things. We do
no,
observe
and
things.
it was not put on. He was not doing it for the
Yeah,
camera, so it was really
yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah. So that
Well, I
that was a
mean,
good.
to be fair to the point, it seems that at least during this parliament session, Rahul Gandhi
Mm.
and Priyanka Gandhi have really come across as more balanced, presentable, and on the dot. Even
Priyanka,
during
I would say more so. Priyanka's speech, I think it was definitely among the top three speeches inside Parliament. Her speech on Vande Mataram was among the top three. I mean, which is
yes,
not
no
good,
doubt about
but
it.
it's good.
I
It's
mean,
good.
but
So
Rahul Gandhi
she's
obviously,
coming into her own, I guess, after a year and a
Well,
half
I
of
hope
being.
so. She comes into her own very often and then she goes away also, na? But the point is that even many BJP leaders would tell me in the corridor that she spoke well. So she did speak well. There's no doubt about it.
And this
they-
rivalry between the siblings, there was all of this on social media that outside Parliament, she was speaking to the press, and then Rahul Gandhi snapped at her, and all of this drama was going on.
Yeah, that was our dear friend Abhijit Iyer's gossip column.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what about it, Pallavi? What's the story
I
there?
didn't see this happening because see, I think it's very clear that Rahul Gandhi usually gives the sound bites. She doesn't give when he's speaking, but she also gives it separately. Both of them are happening to give it these days. I think what Abhijit was talking about was the fact is that she was being congratulated by many people in the corridor for giving a good speech. Rahul Gandhi has not got that kind of a patting on his back. I frankly speaking, I thought his speech would be much more fiery, considering the fact that he did two press conferences. It's my opinion, and I'm sure the Congress leaders who are watching us will troll me for this. I don't think they should have walked out. They should have taken up the challenge of the HM. He should have asked a question, replied, and it would have been documented. So what happened was that apparently that she was walking out and everyone was congratulating her. Rahul was waiting for her and he kind of snapped at her and saying, "Please come," and all that stuff. That's what I think Vijay was talking about. Considering that man doesn't go to parliament, I don't know where he picks up his khabar from.
He's
but
very happy today for some reason. I have no idea
yeah,
why.
I don't know, yeah. And
I
Ajay, I
just,
apologize to you
I
publicly.
just,
I remember we were supposed to meet on Wednesday.
yeah. Now you're coming to the point.
Yeah,
Now
I'm going
you've
to meet you
forgotten,
all
yeah.
also. We're planning to have a lunch this week sometime,
Now
hopefully.
imagine, yeah, but none of our viewers are being invited for that, Aditya.
Yeah,
We
but I
don't
want to
spend
give you all
money
my
on them.
soaps. I'm giving them my soaps,
Oh
guys.
God.
It's time that they tried them out.
And
My soaps
I
are
have
ready.
to tell the viewers, I have stopped buying soap, waiting for Advaita to give us that soap, which has just not come.
I'll tell you
So I'm
why.
just left
Because
with
I'm a
one bar of
no,
soap.
because I'm a perfectionist, and unless I don't get it
So she's
right, like
selling
the
her
right
soap, Ajay.
aroma, the right texture, I can't
Ajay, she's
give it
selling
to
her
anyone.
soap to us
But
now.
now I am happy to say that I'm satisfied with the aroma. I've got moringa oil in all my soaps. I've chosen the
Ajay,
right
she's selling her
oil.
soap.
So,
Can you imagine the Sunday club?
what? How does it? I'm not selling it. It's not open for sale right now. First, you all will try it, and then if you come on the show without any rashes or anything, then no, it's very good quality. I've been using it myself for the last 3 months, and it's only shea and glycerine, so it's not like it's very good
Perfect.
ingredients. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Enjoy your soap
this week,
opera. That's
no,
absolutely great.
But why are
it's
you people not talking
moisturizing.
about the new BJP president? That's the big
Because
news we
Go
this,
ahead,
broke
talk
this
about him.
evening. Ajay, what do you
so
make
Pallavi,
of it?
share your thoughts. Seriously,
No,
how
but
much,
listen,
I'll be
how much
back
of
in a
this
minute.
guy did you know?
everyone deduced their body language. There were big reporters who were going on about body language. Ye banega, wo banega. Another story this is, Ajay, that we should never ever guess what the prime minister is up to and Amit Shah. I mean, who would have thought a sitting minister and a four-time MLA Bihar se kayast hai na? I think
Uh,
Nitin Nabin is a kayast.
he
I
is a
mean, everyone
Kais
thought they'll
from
get a Dalit or something like that. So completely defied all the speculations and expectations and theories. कि Dalit
see.
hoga, OBC hoga.
अच्छा, I mean, let me just put it in Hindi.
You've
Since
gone on
मैंने,
mute.
am I?
I think
No,
Advaita has muted you.
no, not at all. I can hear my dots here. Can you hear me? Since 2014, the journalist community has been trying off and on to pre-guess or guess the maneuvers within the BJP. Every time they fall flat on the face. I mean, nowhere ever could ever anyone have imagined that Nabeen would be ever picked up. He's not even taken too seriously within Bihar politics. Rather, there are certain hearts which are burning already in Patna as to why he and why, if at all, from this community, why not somebody else who is a very good speaker and has been a central minister as well. So yes, this is something which is a game changer. But I was just asking, I know Pallavi's just gone off air, but I just want to know what is her guess, because obviously we can only guess. We can't really deduce anything from this as to why would Nabeen be chosen as a working president who could thereafter become a full-fledged BJP president for the next 3 years. What do you say, Aditya?
I can't figure out. I mean, Bihar, Bengal. I mean, consider the fact that Bihar elections are over. He was from the Yuva Morcha. I'm trying to figure out. He was from the Yuva Morcha, Kayas the. young hair. I don't know. I can't figure out,
First of
frankly.
all, I think a couple of things. I think if he does, remember this, he's the working president right now, so he still is under JP Nadda and will report to him. So he's not officially the national president, but as Ajay told me earlier, and it's true as well, both Amit Shah as well as Seth are working president. So I don't know. Maybe it's a testing period for him. Maybe they'll test him out. He's very young. He's only 45. So it's definitely a generational change. He's been relatively low profile. He, however, has been elected 5 times as MLA. So he's had a very successful
Hmm.
electoral political career. So that cannot be,
And he was in
sort of
in charge of
looked over.
Chhattisgarh also. He was in charge of
Yeah, so
Chhattisgarh
he
also,
may not be
co-in
high
charge.
profile and someone that we see buzzing on TV and things like that. But increasingly, the BJP, at least in its present avatar, has shown a preference for people who are slightly more low profile. And
Hmm.
especially for organizational roles, I think they're not looking for showmen as much as they're looking for someone who has ground and organizational connect. So, will he deliver on these fronts? Keeping his electoral history in mind, it's possible that he is already well entrenched in the organization. He may not be as flashy or have that name recall as of now, but we'll wait and see. And of course, will he become the eventual president? That's the other matter.
I think
Well,
he could become the eventual president. Having made him, it's going to be very difficult. I mean, they didn't need to do this suddenly. Na? Look at they had Pankaj Chaudhary as a UP president, and within 24 hours, inko bana diya. I
How
don't
much do
know.
you think it
Ajay would
had
know
to do
better.
with headline management? Because I think that rally was also today, no, Pallavi? Was that big
हाँ,
rally today?
उसी समय अनाउंस हुआ within an hour. So evening bulletins are full of this. But
Yeah.
headline management के लिए BJP can do much more. I mean, anyway, it's a Sunday, so I don't know. Ajay, he would know.
no, no, I wouldn't know per se. See, there are only guesstimates. And
Hmm.
let's look at the recent choices that the BJP has been making as chief ministers and also
Hmm.
Pradesh Adhyaksh. Bengal is the experiment which has failed. The Bengal Pradesh Adhyaksh, who has immense RSS backing, has been completely rooted within RSS, is hardly playing much of a role within,
No, but Nitin Dobin is close to RSS.
uh, which is also very surprising. Apparently, not too close.
Acha, that's interesting.
Apparently, not too close. I mean, he has been active within the Vidyarthi Parishads, but
Hmm.
whether he has very
So that
extensive
is
ties with,
ABVP is RSS only, na, Ajay?
agreed, agreed.
Yeah.
But whether he has those distinguished ties with the RSS or whether he can be identified as an RSS person is very difficult to say right now because, see, he has always been quite under the radar. Bakipur constituency is known to be a caste dominated constituency. That is why Shatrughan Sinha and Ravi Shankar Prasad have always come across as the MPs from this
Hmm.
constituency in Patna. So caste
Hmm.
community is a dominant community added with the Hindu votes, and it becomes quite good for a
So
victory.
what do you how do you read this response that people are saying his appointment to this position really cuts Ravi Shankar Prasad down?
Well, uh, but naturally there will be heartburns. There's no doubt that if there is a caste leader who is of prominence and dominance today from Bihar in BJP, it is Ravi Shankar Prasad, undoubtedly. He has had the confidence of being the uh, close to the central leadership, not of late too much, but yes, he is. He's still the member of parliament. He is brought in as a spokesperson when something very very authoritative has to be put through. Please recall his recent statement, which he said at Patna airport after landing, that if Rahul Gandhi cannot face me, how can he face Amit Shah? So
Hmm.
Ravi Shankar Prasad is a very a highly rated person within the BJP also, but has been at times sniped off as well. Heartburns
Yeah.
is necessary. It will happen. Let's face it
Hmm.
as it is. Because if there is a caste leader who's of preeminence in Bihar, it is Ravi Shankar Prasad. Obviously, now he will have to answer to a much younger leader from the same community, from the same state, despite being much. So yes, that's but natural. But apart from that, whether this shall have impact
Tell
on
me,
Bengal election,
yeah.
please go ahead. No, ask the question, please go ahead. I mean, I was just speculating whether this can have an impact on Bengal elections. It doesn't seem so,
Doesn't
because
seem so, yeah.
it doesn't seem so. Will
But
this have
but
an
they
impact?
are but they are but they are neighboring states, right? Bihar, Bengal. There is they are
Quality is
neighboring
very different.
states.
Quality
There
is
is a
very
lot of
different.
movement between the states.
No, but Nadda, then going by that, Nadda is married, has links to the Bengali family. I mean, yeah, Bangali, na? He speaks
Yes.
Bangla and all.
But
I think Nitin ka biggest first big challenge of him would be to win Bengal as a working president also. And in case BJP wins Bengal, na Ajay, definitely I think he will be made the BJP president full time. Because then that will be his way of, kind of rewarding. I don't know if they're getting someone young. They are obviously going to have a new president under whom they're going to go for Bengal elections. I don't know.
It is also something which one needs to wonder. Imagine BJP needed a president as of almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the handover period of JP Nadda has been really extended beyond limits. He had to hand over the baton before 2024
tell me
election.
something, both of you.
And also one more thing, Ajay, I'm just wondering
Tell me,
if
both of you have
winning
really had your
elections.
ear to the ground when it comes to politics. I want to know very quickly, did either of you think that it would be this gentleman? Was he on your radar at all? Did his name come
No,
up in
no.
conversations?
I
Anything like
never
that
thought so.
before today?
Me, no, me, no. I
Nothing.
only was sure about one thing. I was sure one thing, it will be someone who we don't expect. None of the names which are being discussed would be expected. People are talking about Khattar, Bhupinder Yadav, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Dharmendra Pradhan. I knew it wouldn't be one of them because that's the way PM functions. But I was just quickly making this point that if winning elections is becoming the criteria, or elections are that criteria, then I don't know why they didn't announce his name before Bihar elections. Or is it because he's a caste and I don't think that BJP wanted to get the caste combinations little. That would be the
Yes.
reason, yeah. So they waited for Bihar to be over. I'm sure they made up their mind already. They said, "Ki ab Bihar ho jane do, and then let's announce his name."
Yes, no doubt. Had it been
What a
prior to Bihar
fascinating party the
elections,
BJP is sometimes, yeah.
see,
Most of the
the
times, actually.
Brahminical stamp on BJP would have been completely justified if Nabeen would have been
Yeah,
announced as the Karyakari Adhyaksh prior to Bihar elections. Because
correct,
any
correct.
other caste as a representative of BJP would have damaged BJP immensely,
Correct,
undoubtedly.
yeah.
So this is a very well thought of move.
Ajay, I mean, you're from Bihar as well, so I'm asking you this. Do we know anything about him personally? Like, is he well liked? Is he an angry sort, a happy sort, laughing
He
No,
looks
sort?
no,
happy,
he's,
happy.
he's,
Huh? I mean, he's
The
he's
obviously
picture
happy
looks happy,
today,
happy.
but like general temperament and things like that. He
no,
he does
Nabeen has
come from a
always
BJP family,
Nabeen
right?
has
His
always
father
been
was
very accommodative. He is a
okay.
very approachable politician, accessible to general populace. He is one of those who would virtually try and make it for almost all prominent weddings. If somebody passes
Okay.
away, childbirth,
Hmm.
functions, he's a very grounded local man, so to say.
And
Well,
So
that's
now
good.
with this announcement, I'm sure they're going to start having a new communication team as well because that's what matters to us as
huh,
media people. Yeah,
things will change,
that'll also
but not
things
right
will
now.
change. Yeah,
I
no,
doubt
immediately
anything is
nahi.
changing
No,
till
every
Bengal.
president, every
Yes.
president brings in their new team, their own team, and things
But
like
it'll
that.
take
But
some time.
let me
There'll be the
remind
cabinet
everyone, he's not
reshuffle.
president as yet. He's basically going to be doing the organizational day-to-day
Yeah,
functions.
but that's
And
also
JP
important
Nadda is,
now.
as of now, still at the helm, and he'll be, I guess, doing more strategy and things like that. That's how they're going to work it out. And we'll see whether he follows suit like JP Nadda and Amit Shah and becomes president, or if this is genuinely a testing period. We'll wait and watch. And really, that's all we have today. We were going to discuss the movie Dhurandhar, but we got talking about Bondi, so we didn't quite get to the film. The film is a super hit. And that
I
Akshay
haven't
Khanna,
watched it.
Nor
Is
have
it
yeah,
for
I.
4 hours? Is it for
No,
four
it's
hours?
3
3.5
hour 3 hour 23 minutes.
Yeah.
Advaita, you
And
should
Akshay
take us
Khanna
out
is
for
like,
this
it feels,
movie.
after Bobby Deol, Akshay Khanna, now it feels like the 1990s, you know?
But Advaita, you should take Ajay and me for this movie. Me because I'm
Oh,
me, and Ajay because he's laughed a lot today.
I'm going to give you my soaps. I'll give you my soaps.
Oh
I have
no!
specially
imagine.
blended
It's just a
aromas.
movie ticket, Aditya. That's all. We'll buy our own
That's
popcorn.
all. Yeah, exactly. And
We'll
we'll
buy
take
our own
Movie
the
tickets are
popcorn.
soap.
very
We'll buy
expensive
our own
now.
coffee.
No,
I'm
and
a
if we
writer.
have a rash,
I'm
we'll
not
not tell
an,
people.
I'm
And
a
I will,
humble
I will, I will
writer.
take, I'll take
Guys,
personally, Pallavi in my car, so you don't have to move out of your, nice Queen Palace. Also,
I don't have a palace. You know, these guys try and project me as this big, like, Richie Rich sort of thing. No.
oh, but
Writers
then you're
are
the diva in the
grossly
show.
underpaid in this country. Grossly
Journalists are
underpaid,
worst.
undervalued.
Journalists are
Journalists are paid
worst.
a lot. Television
No,
journalists are paid a lot, especially
no, no,
people
no, no,
like you
not the
both.
two journalists.
One
No,
was
no,
like the
wait,
editor,
guys.
like in, I think, two or
No,
three news channels,
not
Ajay.
true,
See,
not
I'm,
true, not
I'm
true.
And
unemployed right now. I'm a contractual
The
labor.
two, no, wait, that's viewers, Sunday Club, please. The two journalists you're seeing on your show, Ajay and me, grossly underpaid.
Pallavi has
We
been
don't
like
earn a
for
lot of
30
money.
years in CNN News 18, so she's like the
But CNN News 18 is not even 30 years, yeah. No, no, no. Well,
biggest, whatever, you've been there
writers
forever.
lie.
So she's like the
See,
queen. Like, people have come and
Pallavi,
gone, but Pallavi
Pallavi,
has been there.
she doesn't even realize. Look at me. I'm a contractual labor.
Poor
I don't
guy.
even have
I
a
feel
permanent
sorry for
job.
him, yeah.
Batao.
Poor thing, yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel
sad.
sorry for Ajay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel sorry. It's okay. She's
Please.
a
That's what I
diva. She'll
want
That's
you
not
why
to
I'm
feel
do.
giving
sorry
you
for you.
both
Have,
That's
have
why.
soap.
empathy. Have empathy for me.
That's why she's giving you a soap,
That's
Ajay.
so you all can
Anyway.
at least bathe. Guys, see, I'll be ready
Wow.
with them next
Oh,
week.
there's actually a soap.
Yeah, she's made
Yeah,
some soap. She's going
you think
on
I'm
and on
lying?
about it.
I
The
have
only time
three
she talks to
special.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
good.
obsessed. I only have 3 aroma blends right now. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. That's it.
And they've
Very
got
minimal.
Shia. They're called Adu.
Shea. It's actually
I
not
know
shea. I keep
everything.
saying shea, but it's shea butter and moringa oil and glycerine. So it's very moisturizing, very nourishing for the skin, as well as clay, kaolin clay. So it's also a detox bar. So they're made with a lot of care. But that's just me. I'm kind of a
Do I
perfectionist.
feel I'm
That's
already
why
on
it's
a
taking
Lakme
so long,
show?
Pallavi. What?
Awesome. Do I feel that
What do
I'm
you
already
say?
on the Lakme show?
Yeah. This is the price we are paying Ajay for asking her to take us out for a movie.
I've
So we
also
have to
done
put
like
up.
this great.
Okay.
No, I also.
Aditya, come on. I'll buy you tickets also.
No, I'll
Ajay,
come. I don't mind.
we
I'll
both
get.
will have to pay
You
the
know, I'll
price.
tell you. Pallavi is so ungrateful because I created a skin renewal cream for her with bakucha oil, which is like the natural
And I hear the whole
retinol.
thing. I hear the
And
whole
what's
thing how
wrong?
nasty she can get. No, she sends me a message. Viewer, she sends me a message. I'm sending you a genuine anti-aging cream. Now, Ajay, am I supposed to feel good about it?
Well,
Pallavi.
forget you. You don't need it because obviously you're not aging at all. You're
Ajay,
No,
just the
it's
thank
same.
you so
natural.
much.
See, everybody,
It's me. I
everybody is
need it.
using
I need
retinol.
some fresh air in my life. Come on, guys. Give me the anti-aging thing.
Oh, you're
See,
like that cosmopolitan man, you know. So this is it. You have to use it by preservatives, right? So it's like fresh batch. That's the idea.
Oof.
okay.
But Pallavi, you should be grateful because
If
this
it
is
was
very
somebody could
expensive.
plug the product, Aditya, you'll take.
Yes.
I mean, even in a political or any discussion, she can bring it on and have it. Thank God we haven't been talking recently on any of the shows. Aditya, I would
But
have
she's
been,
only she only does this because it's you and me. She wouldn't have done this if Abhijit and Suhel would have been there. Because she
No,
would have
before
got it back.
the show
We both
started,
are very
Sohail, no,
nice people. That's why.
no, before the show started, Sohail said, I want 3 soaps and 2 candles, 1 large one, 1 small one. Can you imagine? Stop advertising. Raj, if I don't advertise, no one anywhere advertises on our show. I may as well start it. Okay, everybody.
Okay, Advaita.
Thank you so
Okay,
much for
guys.
watching. And these
Okay.
guys, don't worry about them. They're ungrateful. But we should be back soon.
yeah, we are ungrateful to
If
the tune
Pallavi,
that we are
if
asking
you
you out
don't want
to
this,
watch.
Pallavi,
a movie which we don't really wish to watch, and buy tickets
But
for
we
you
are
also,
paying for
and buy
it.
popcorns and
Yeah.
coffee also for you, and
And
drive all
also
the way
buy
from Noida to Gurgaon.
and also
Yeah,
take the
if you
soap.
come to Gurgaon, I'll go with you. If you come to Gurgaon, I'll go with you all because I'm not driving around in that pollution.
Ajay,
Frankly, I
only
should be
you
in
and I are going
Uttarakhand
for the
right now.
movie. Forget it.
I don't know why I'm in
It's just
Delhi.
the two of us. Let's
It's,
go to
it's
one of
just
the
the two
nice
of us.
PVRs. Logic's PVR is in Noida. Let's step out,
Done. Done deal.
and we shall
Okay,
share the
guys.
pictures on Twitter and tag
I'll call
Miss.
your wife and tell her that you're off on a date with Pallavi to a movie theater. And this
As
time, this movie theater. Just wait.
imagine, she'll be super happy. After all, he's found taste in Bengali women.
Okay, guys. See you.
All right,
Bye.
Take care.
everybody. Bye for now. Pallavi, you're not getting this. Bye, everyone. She doesn't deserve it. But remember to like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.